Welcome back to Franco Fridays. I'm trying to squeeze this review in the middle of all these drive-in exploitation films. Although, really, the movie I'm going to be talking about certainly qualifies as drive-in exploitation. Um, that is Love Camp, 1977's Love Camp, which was the fourth and final film of the Chicks and Chains collaboration between Franco and Swiss producer Erwin Dietrich. Following heavily on the heels of Barbed Wire Dolls, this film was made obviously to take advantage of the popularity of the genre, and it has plot twists that make it different from your grandpa's Chicks and Chains or Women in Prison Nazi films, Nazi exploitation. Because here basically you've got revolutionary guerrillas that have captured women and established kind of a brothel, basically to satisfy the troops. And of course, they've got the brothel run by everyone's favorite sadistic lesbian sadist who likes to poke or cane up girls' cooches and a variety of other assorted things. But this is not your normal Chicks and Chains Nazi exploitation film, mainly because of Jess Franco and his style. You've got some great cinematography. The thing was shot basically on location in the Canary Islands, so it looks good. The sets look good. The story's good. You've got really a pretty compelling and interesting story beyond just torturing women. You've got a couple of plot twists. The first, most obvious, is now instead of making fun of the Nazis and Nazi exploitation, now we're kind of making fun of revolutionary guerrillas, communist revolutionaries. And then secondly, you've got in the storyline, you've got an interesting kind of a love triangle that develops in the film, and then a slight plot twist at the end. So yeah, I mean, it makes for an entertaining and interesting women in prison film, or Chicks and Chains, if you like. However, it is not without its deficits, because one of the things about Franco is that he doesn't dwell on the gore aspects of a film or the torture aspects too much. He cuts away. He has a tendency to cut away. And I don't think that works in this genre. I think he should have spent more time focusing on, for example, I guess, let me give you an example. The sadistic lesbian headmistress, or she basically will behead any woman that kind of gets out of line or tries to escape. And so there's one scene where there's a beheading, but Franco really kind of cuts away from that and doesn't show it. And that's typical of his style, but I think in this case it kind of does a little bit of a disservice to the genre. It kind of mutes it or neuters the impact of it. So it's kind of like taking a subject matter that's a hardcore R or even an X type subject matter and making it G-rated. So that's a little disappointing. And he doesn't really stay too long on the any of the torture scenes. Although the cane up the cooch, he spent pretty good time on that. So I can't really criticize Franco too much for that. The other things he does well, the camera's steady, the shots are interesting. He's always shooting through. It's not just a static shot of a person. There's always some kind of a foreground or background imagery that I think makes it compelling. Yeah, so I think he did a good job with that. And the music is excellent. The music, as usual, Franco has a real penchant for interspersing interesting sounds and musical devices within these films, and this film is no exception. So I can definitely recommend Love Camp, but I think if you're used to for example, Love Camp 7, kind of the first Nazi exploitation film, or the Ilsa films, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed, because this one You know, again, it kind of cuts away from that. That's not the torture and the gore is not really the focus of the film. It's more of a story about uh, the guerrilla revolutionaries, making fun of them. For example, you've got a talking parrot that calls people bitches and quotes Edgar Allan Poe when he's not calling people bitches. So there's some comedy, black comedy in this, as well as the storyline of the love triangle. I think is more of Franco's focus than um, expounding on the torture or those type of things within these prison chicks and chains movies. All that being said, it's a good film, and I recommend it particularly if you're a Franco fan. So, yeah, that's Love Camp. But this is a full moon release, and it's got a 30-minute audio interview with Franco, which was very informative. And the picture quality is great on this. It's a DVD, but looks great to me. I mean, there's a German Blu-ray release of this, which I think has the exact same special features. But I thought this DVD looked great. Picture quality looks fantastic, so I don't really feel the need to upgrade, but there is a Blu-ray out there if you're interested. Okay, that will wrap up my Franco Friday and review of Love Camp. Thanks for watching.